everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making a Dancing Skeletons lighted box. Yes, I went to Dollar Tree to find all my supplies, which were going to be for something entirely different, but along the way I changed my mind when I saw some of these items. So let me show you what the supplies are going to be so we can get to crafting. Alright, so here's my inspiration. I found these little skeleton. It's actually a garland. They're all in a little rope here, and their little legs do move. Their arms don't move, but I was fiddling around with them there at the Dollar Tree, and I thought, I think I can do something with them. I kind of want to make them look like they're dancing. They're not going to be on the garland, but this is what I'm going to use. And there's 4 little skeletons in the package. Again, this is all going to be from the Dollar Tree. Anything that's not from the Dollar Tree, I'll let you know. But pretty much everything's from the Dollar Tree. So starting off with this, and I decided that I'm going to make a shadow box. So I decided to get this certificate right here, this certificate frame, I should say. It doesn't have the measurement, but it is a 12 by 9.5. The outer frame is a 12 by 9.5. So if you can find this particular one, or at least when you're at the store, just kind of put your little skeletons on there and just make sure that they will fit in with inside the frame space. Okay, so that's the 2 items. Now to create the box, I got some foam board, and I got this black foam board, and they do have them in white. So if you don't find them in black, you can go ahead and get a white one. This doesn't have a measurement, but let me see. It is a almost 30 inches, 30 by 20, we're gonna say, okay? So that's the size of this piece. We're probably not gonna use the whole piece, but try to get yourself a whole one just in case you make some little mistakes. Like I said, if you don't find the black, go ahead and get yourself some white, and then you could just paint inside of it, or use some paper or some fabric to cover it. And I also found something that I could use to cover some parts, and I found this kind of a holographic picture. Can you see where it kind of changes if I do that? Can you see that? It's a man face, and then he turns into a skeleton. There we go. I thought it was kind of interesting looking, and I want to use some of this for the background, so I kind of also did this thing where I put the frame over it and decided that, yeah, they could be in the background of my frame. You can use any decorative bag that they might have at the Dollar Tree to create a background. You can use some tulle, for example, if you want to cover the back with some tulle, or they have some scarves, so you can use a fabric from that. You can use anything to create a background, or don't use any background at all. You can just use a black foam board or poster board. You can cover a white foam board with white poster board. I got these little lights. These are LED light set. You can see that right there. And this has, does it say how many? Yeah, there's 10, and it says orange lights. I got 2 packages because I wasn't sure if I was going to use 1 or 2. And the package says it needs 2 AA batteries. So I went ahead and I got enough here for both packages. There's 8 in this package. You can find batteries also at the Dollar Tree. So that's going to be to create my shadow or dancing box or lighted box, whatever you want to call it. But I also saw this. It's a cute little hanging here, this little wall hanging, and it's kind of skeleton, so I thought I'm going to get that just to be extra, hang it from the little box that I create. So there we go. Those are our supplies. I'm going to be using a mat here, like a cutting mat, a rotary cutting mat. I could use my rotary cutter. Sorry about all this noise. Let me get it all the way. You can use your rotary cutter if you have that. You can use an X-Acto knife. This is all to cut the foam board, okay? Or you can use like a little handy dandy cutter if you have one of these. And then of course we'll need something to measure, and I have my straight edge. I'll get that in a minute. And a pencil to make some markings. So let's get to crafting. Alright, I've gone ahead and unwrapped my frame, and then I'm just lifting these little tabs here on the back. And I'm going to remove. I forgot to mention that we're also going to be using a glue gun with glue sticks. If you want to use E6000 glue for this, you can certainly use that. Now these little metal things, you could just push them back down to hold down the frame. I mean the glass, sorry. But I'm going to actually glue down the glass. So I'm just going to remove it for now, because I'm going to use my glue gun. And just in the little corners here, put some glue. There we go. All right. I got a little fan going, so you might hear that in the background. Okay, so now I'm just pressing it down so it gets into the glue. I didn't put too much because I didn't want to squirt out too much. So now I'm just going to put a little, like a little dabby line on the inside to kind of grab the glass and the frame as well, because I don't want those little black prong things here. And those, I'm just going to use my needle nose pliers and kind of wiggle them and pull them out. You can certainly pull them out before you put the glass in there, just to make sure you don't bang on it. I'm going to take them out. You could fold them down, like I said. I just don't like the way they look when you're looking at it from the other side. But since it's going to be pretty much dark in there, well, actually it's going to have some light, so yeah, you're going to see them. Okay, so I just remove those. Make sure I put them properly in the trash. Okay, so there I have that. We're going to let that dry. Alright, so I've now placed the frame over in the corner of my black foam board, and then I'm just going to take a pencil and mark two sides, because I already have it on this edge, so I obviously don't have to mark that. And I can lift this up, and I've got that marked. I don't know if you can see the pencil lines because it's lead on black, but there you go. That way I only use this little corner for now, and I don't waste any on my board. So now all I gotta do is cut that out. So I'm gonna use a straight edge. Let's get that on there. Let's try our X-Acto knife first. I don't care if it's a little bit smaller than what I actually measured. Yeah. Okay. Let's try the other cutting tool. This one here. Oh, this is probably going to work a lot better. Okay. By the way, we got this at Home Depot. This particular cutter. It was like about $6. And I think we paid another, like, you know, $3 or $4 for extra blades. It's 10 blades. I'm not really sure how much they were. Okay. And we bought this when we were doing our floor. So that's why I have that. Okay, so now I have this piece, which is going to be our background in our box, and I'm just cutting off the little the little edges that didn't get cut right. There we go. I kind of cut into a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, I do actually want it to be a little bit smaller. It's going to end up a little bit smaller than this because I am going to put some edges on it, and I do want the edges to kind of be on the outside of it. So that's okay if I mess this up, because I'm actually going to cut that now. So I'm going to trim it, and this is about, let's see, how wide is this? This is almost a 1/4 inch wide. So I'm going to kind of go with that idea and cut off almost a 1/4 inch, or actually a 1/4 inch, because I want it off both sides. So I'm going to go in a 1/4 inch. There we go. Cut it off on one side on the top, and then on the other side that wasn't so pretty. And I can already see right here that it's not even straight because I'm aligning it here, here, and on the top. And this side is crooked. So it's a good thing that I'm doing this, because then this just straightens everything. Ooh. You want to make sure your blade is sharp, okay? You want a nice sharp blade for this, because then you miss little pieces like this. Okay, I'm just throwing everything on the floor, and I'll just sweep it up later. That's what's nice about having a little crafting area. Okay. Because look, see? So make sure your tools are sharp. I'm going to put that in the back. That's not going to show. This is what's going to show possibly on the inside, although I am going to be covering it, so I'm not going to be too picky. So now I need 2 pieces the size of this, one to go here and one to go on this side, but standing. And then I need 2 pieces over here so that they will also be standing. So this is the length that I'm going to cut them, of course, and then the other 2 this length, the same. But the height, or how big they're going to be, are going to depend on how deep my little skeletons are. So I'm going to go ahead and take them off of the packaging and then kind of measure to see how chunky they are, how wide upward they are. Okay. And I want to give them a little room because I might maneuver their little arms and such. Okay, so I need at least 1 inch for the actual width of the little skeleton. You know, I'm measuring the widest part, which is the little spine and the ribs right here. I'm actually measuring there. And that's at least 1 inch. So I think I'm going to go with 2 inches. So I want my box to be 2 inches deep. All right. So this is about the same length here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and put this here. I'm actually going to cut this whole piece, this piece off of here. I'm just aligning this and making sure it's straight over here and just cutting straight up. And there we go. I'm going to put this down. I might need it. I don't know. Let's put it to the side. And that's about half of the foam board, okay? So here we go. So now I want 2 inches and 2 inches, okay? So let's measure up to, I actually have my mat that tells me how many inches, but maybe you don't have that. You just have a surface where you're okay cutting. Excuse me, my allergies. My allergies are bad today. So I got up this morning with the idea that I'm going to start my video. I have another craft that I want to do, and then I realized I didn't purchase a ribbon for it. So I thought, well, I have to go to the Dollar Tree. And while I'm there, I ended up getting not only the ribbon, but a couple of extra things to add to that particular craft. Just because. And then I saw the little skeletons, and I thought, what could I do with those? So I started thinking, oh, a frame, blah, 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 blah. They'd be cute if they were dancing. How can I make them dancing? Are they bendable? And I thought maybe a little maneuvering, a little hot glue here and there. There will be sort of dancing. Right. Okay, so I've got the 2 longer pieces that are the length of this, which will be standing like so on the edges, one here and one here. And now I need for these 2 sides. So I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 more because I do have plenty of room here to cut another 2 of this, and then I'll just cut them down to the length that I need. Okay? I'm just going to line this like that. I had already marked it, but yeah, actually, these are the marks. I was looking at this. That's not it. Okay, there we go. Got that one. I'm just going to use this one to mark the other one. Okay, we just get that off. All right. Okay, now we want to form our little box, like so. Okay, but before we form our little box, I want to do my background. And I told you I have this right here. And I want to put that in there. And I don't need the top of the frame, obviously, because I'm not going to have it on the bottom. So I'm just going to use the sides. So I'm going to just make sure that's on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around. And because I can see through it, I'm just going to trim off this top part. I'm a little crooked, but I can just trim off more. Yeah. Let's use our scissors here. Let's try the scissors. This actually did cut it, but I'm going to try scissors, which work really well. Okay. Let's try this again. That's gonna work. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn it around. It's easier for me to do it this way. Line it up as best as I can. And my pencil fell to the floor, of course. So I'm just gonna mark it with my cutter. Try not to cut the board, which I'm doing. I just want to cut this little mat thing. And that marked it. Look at that. And I'm just going to use my scissors to finish it off. Okay, get that. And then this little edge over here is a little too much. I'm just going to cut that off. Okay. This is going to go on this background. Oh, what the heck? Oh, I messed it up right there. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to cover that up. There we go, just like that. And it's okay if the sides, you can always trim those off. So I'm just going to put some glue along the side here and on this other side. Place this back on there. And I just put the glue on the edges. I don't want any behind the peepholes because I've already got a line of glue here that kind of fell on it and I don't like that. But look. Can you see where they change? Okay, anyway, you saw that already. Cutting that little bit off. This little bit off over here. This little bit right here. Okay, so now I'll get my pieces, which are right here, my 4 pieces to create my walls. And what I want is for my walls to be on the outside, but let's compare it to the frame to make sure. Yep. And yes, they'll fit in within the frame. So when I glue it all on here, they'll catch onto something. I'm actually going to trim a little bit off on one side. Let me get my thing here, and then I'll just measure it so I can see what actual measurement I end up with at the end. That way you will know what to cut it to and you don't have to do all what I'm doing. Okay, let's trim off some. 11 3/4. 11 3/4 by 9. That hasn't changed. So 11 3/4 is what I want this to be. Okay. Let me go ahead and do this here because I don't want to mess it up. I'm just going to trim off a little bit on the edge here. Actually, no, I'm going to measure this one. These are perfectly fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue these sides first, and I'm going to glue them to the outer edge here. Okay, this outer edge. They're not on top, but rather on the outer edge. Okay, then we're going to put this. Try not to smear it, which I just did. I'm not going to worry about it. Like that. The other little one here. Put this right here. Like so. Okay, that's what you're doing. I'm going to do the top one. I want to put some lights in there, so I'm going to wait to put these on, the top and the bottom, a little bit. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to work on my little skeletons. So let me go ahead and get them off of this packaging, and I will be right back. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start on my little skeletons. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my wire cutters, what I didn't even mention, you could use some wire cutters for this project, is I'm going to cut this right off of the little loop there that's holding on to that little rope. Don't throw away that little rope garland, that could be used for something. Okay, there's a little bit here. I might use it for something. Put all my pieces that way that I'm not going to need. Everything out of the way. Okay, so now I've got my little skeletons, and I want them in there. And I'm just going to maneuver, bend them whichever way I can to kind of make them look like they're dancing. Now, if they come off, if they break off, that's why you got your glue gun. I'm going to fold his little arms. Bend the little knee a little bit. The legs do have a little bit of a pivot. Okay, so I'm going to make him like so. Got room for another, and then another. And yeah, I'm probably going to be hiding the people behind them. All that work for, all that background for nothing. But that's okay. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on his little hip and his little skull here on the side, because I'm actually going to turn his little head over. And he's just going to be glued right there, because he's actually going to be looking at this lady skeleton. It's a lady, yes. And she's going to have one hand up, where she's going to be offering it to the gentleman, or the gentle scale. Okay, let's put some glue now on her little hippies. And a little bit to the side and the back of her head. And let's line her up right there. The little feet. Glue her down. There we go. Look at that. Aren't they cute? Look at they look like they're about to start dancing. Okay, now we want these guys doing some crazy moves. This guy, I want him to really be, so I'm going to bend his knee. The other one, I'm going to push it back, but I'm going to bend it again. Put his arm up. Why not? One arm back. I just want him to look crazy. He's just a crazy, crazy guy dancing. Okay, again, some glue where I know that it's going to touch the back of his hip and a little bit at the back of his head. You know what I was looking for at the Dollar Tree? I was looking for something that had some music. A little music box or something that I could use to attach to this, where you could just press on it and some funky Halloween or spooky sounds would play. You know, so if you can find something like that, add it to your box. Let me move it up a little bit. But this guy's not really gluing down, is he? I think it's because of the mat, this thing that I use. The particular fabric is just a little bit harder to get things to glue. This little foot, there we go. Let's put you up a little bit. There we go. There we go. He's dancing. See him? Look at him. Woohoo! Now I'm going to put the other one on the other side, and he's going to be making some similar moves. Maybe a little John Travolta kind of a move. It looks just the same as the other one, but I'm going to make him facing them this way also. Let's put his arm up a little higher. There we go, just like that. But I'm going to make him face forward. Okay, so now he's resting right about here. So I'll put some glue right there. Back of his head. Okay. Maybe a little bit at his hand right there. Okay. Now you can see how I place them. And they're all dancing inside of there. And of course it's going to have another piece down here, so it's going to be like a little box. And then the one at the top. But I want lights in there, so let's go ahead and open up these lights and make sure they're working and that we can actually use them. And how are we going to put them in there? Now I can make little holes in the back, poke little holes in the back and push the lights through them, but this little backing that I use, particularly that I happen to use, it's like a hard plastic, and it was hard enough to cut it with a cutter, so I know I'm not going to be able to poke holes through it, so that idea is out the window. So instead, I'm just going to place the little lights, you know, maybe at the sides and so forth like that, and then I do have another pack if I want to go ahead and use the other lights as well. We're going to test all this out. Okay, so let me figure out how this opens. Okay, you kind of have to push down and then slide it off, I think. Oh, it's got a little screw right there, guys. I don't know if you can see that. A little tiny screw. All right, so let me go get a tiny little screwdriver so that I can remove that, and I'll be back. All right, we're back, and I went ahead and I removed the tiny little screw off the back, and now I'm going to put some batteries in there. And this is to switch it, and look how pretty that looks. Little orange lights. Can you see them? They're so pretty. Okay, now let me decide how they're going to go. Because maybe the box can be on the outside, on the back, well, on the outside, on the side probably. Yeah, this can kind of go around and then up and then a little bit at the top. I think one of them is going to be enough. So I'm just going to maneuver this as close to the top as I can. And I actually got some Scotch tape because I thought, I don't know if I can glue these things down. I don't want to mess up these little lights, you know what I mean? The wire, but I'm going to try it. If I mess it up, I've got another packet. Okay, I'm going to put a little dot of glue here, just so I can hold the wire down. There we go. Just kind of hold it there so it doesn't move. I'm going to put another one over here in this corner. Dot of glue. And then just kind of hold it there. This one is okay where it is. Or if you want it to be on the wall, push it down. Come on. Is this moving on me? A little bit. Oops, this one moved on me. Let's hold it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just put glue along here and there, and then just glue these little lights down against the board. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the other board here, so that I have that to glue down against, and then I can look at this corner over here, and I'll be back to show you what I do there. All right, guys, I'm gone ahead and I've screwed this little lid back onto it because I do want to put this on the side here where I can just switch it on and off. The little switch is here, and I want to make sure this little screw is facing out because once I glue this down, and if the batteries die on me and I need to change them, it'll be easy to open this up. So I want to make sure that I don't have any glue on this side, but rather on this side. And I'm just putting it as far back as I can. There we go. And then I can just switch it off and then switch it back on. There we go. Just like that. And then I've gone ahead and I've glued the little lights. Now I'm going to glue them up on the top edge here. But I need to put this guy. And I kind of didn't want to glue the part where the little wire is, but that's going to be okay because I've been gluing it down here and there, and that's kind of, it's only $1 light, so it's not going to be a waste of anything. And you probably just want to light it up maybe on Halloween. So now I'm just putting some glue along the edge here, push that inward so that I can put that other piece here. There we go. Make sure you actually cut it to size. Mine, for some reason, I don't know why, it's a little shorter. Yep. It should be 11 3/4. I think I ended up cutting it shorter. I don't know what I did, but don't do that. Haha. Or maybe I cut the same piece twice. Okay, I don't know. 11 3/4 by 9. Okay, so now we've got our little box shaped here, see? And we've got our little guys dancing inside. Now we want to put our glass. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, how is this even going to hang on the wall? Well, I'm going to get some rope, which again, I did not mention. But I have some rope already, some twine, and I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that so I can make like a little something here where I can hang it from. And then I'll attach my little dancing guy here. He's not really dancing, but he'll be like, oops, he came off of here. I'm going to have to glue him down. But he'll be hanging off the bottom so he can kind of like, you know, kind of flip around a little bit. Okay, let me get my little twine and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, remember that little twine that we removed off the skeletons? Well, I have some twine, and I went ahead and I was digging it out because it's a nice twine that I got probably at Hobby Lobby. But you know what? This little bit of rope works just fine, so you don't have to go digging for some more. And it's really long, but I just folded it in half. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to knot it here and there so it kind of stays together like one piece. And it's already got some little knots on it from where it was, the little skeleton were hanging from. And I want to make sure I take these little bits of plastic off from the little heads of the skulls. There we go. There we go. Let me make a few more little knots. And then one more over here. Okay. Here is where you can either take your box and punch some holes right here and put the little ends of the rope through it and then make little knots on the inside, or you could just glue these on to the top or to the back. I'm going to glue it to the back, but before I do that, I want to finish off these little lights that I didn't finish gluing down. And I'm not going to worry, because look at the distance between this. This doesn't go all the way over here, but the distance between this light and this light is equal to these, so it ends up perfectly in this little box. Okay, so let's just get that in there, and let's allow it to dry. Oh, I can't do anything about that. Okay. All right. A little more glue over here so it doesn't flop around. Okay. Got those in there. Now I'm just going to turn them around the back. This is the top part. And I'm going to trim this right here where this little knot is. And make another kind of double knot over here. Nice thick one, because, you know, we have plenty of twine to work with. We might end up trimming it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to put a glob of glue and a line like that. I'm going to put the knot right there. The little ropes along that. Put more glue on top to make sure it stays and it's sturdy. Okay. I'm going to do the same over here. A glob of glue. Let me get some more glue on my glue gun. And there. Work it in there. Get some more glue on top. Move it around. And glue this all down really well. And then just let it dry before you turn it back over. Okay. So we have a nice little thing here to hang it from. Now on this bottom part, let me move it over because I have my little plaque here that hangs. This one kind of came off, so I'm going to put some glue back here. Put it back on the ribbon. Yep, making sure. Look, over here it's also coming off, so I'm going to touch it up with some glue. And right here as well. This is about to come off, guys. So we got to touch it up. Touch it up over here as well, just to make sure it's all well and stuck there and doesn't move. Okay, now that we've got it like that, I'm going to take this bottom part, glue right there, and glue this down right there. And this is going to dangle off the very back, right up against the wall. If you wanted it to dangle forward, then you would glue it down here, but I don't want to put any mess of glue there, so I'm putting it all in the back so it won't show. I've got my little fan blowing on there, so hopefully it'll dry really quick, and we'll be back. Alright, this is dry, and I just wanted to make a little note here that at the beginning I mentioned your cutting tools. I said you could use a rotary cutter, X-Acto knife, that other cutter that I got at Home Depot, which is this one right here. It doesn't have a brand name on it, or I could tell you, but it's where they have the little tools to cut, you know, flooring or carpeting and such. So that's what that's from. It's just an all-purpose knife. Anyway, so as we saw, the little knife turned out to be the best deal. The little X-Acto knife works pretty good if it had a really nice sharp blade. I didn't change it. I probably didn't need to even bother thinking about using a rotary cutter, but if you do have a rotary cutter, you don't have the other tools, you can use that, and in correlation maybe with some scissors. I don't like to cut foam board with scissors because it squishes it down, but since all these are on the edges and they're on the back, then it's probably not even going to, you're not even going to worry about it. So anyway, this is all dry. We're going to go ahead and turn it over. Look at that. I think that all coordinates really well. So now we want to cover this up. I've turned off the little lights because I didn't want to waste the battery. And now we're going to want to put our actual frame, our little glass frame, on our box. And if I had made it nice and pretty, it would be right on the edge. Anything that doesn't show, take your a black Sharpie marker, and I happen to have one right here. So you can just use your black Sharpie marker and paint, you know, the little edges, or if you have some black craft paint, you can do that. I'm going to do a little bit just because I'm not going to worry about the whole thing. I'm just going to do a little bit. And of course, these little edges here, little corners right here, you can paint that as well if you want. Just letting you know, you can do that with a little black Sharpie marker or some black craft paint. Or even if it's not a Sharpie, you just happen to have a black marker, Crayola marker, whatever. Use that. Okay, so now I'm just going to put some glue. Let me turn off my little fan. I don't want this to dry too fast because I need to maneuver. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue along the edges. Try not to let it drip down or inside or whatever. It might. Don't worry about it if it does a little bit. Oops. Okay. And I need another little glue stick. I'm going through 4 little glue sticks here, but this is a hot glue. It is not a like a low heat. It's a high temp. There we go. And then on the top part here, you want to make sure that frame doesn't come falling off. So make sure you've got enough glue. Okay, now we're going to put this on. Push it back this way a little bit. There we go. And now we're just going to hold it, push down at the same time. Try not to pull off any of those little glue webbings off yet, because especially if they're going over the glass, because they'll just smear onto the glass. So just leave them alone. Oops, it came off anyway when I moved my finger. Wait till it's all dry, and then move all of, you know, pull on them. And again, you could also use some paint on them. All right, I think that's good enough. We're gonna let it dry, of course, correctly, but I want to show you there what it looks like. Okay, let me go ahead and hold it up. Let me turn it on. As you can see, it's going to be real easy now that we have this on the side here, and it actually coordinates with it. So it's all black, so it doesn't show. You saw the little lights turn on and on there really easily. Turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. Okay, so now I'm going to hold it up for you so you can see it, and then we're going to put it on a wall so you can see it in its full glory. All right, here we go, our finished lighted box. This is our Dancing Skeletons lighted box. And there we go. I'll go ahead and turn it on. There, you can see that it turned on. And I'm going to put it on a wall and turn off the light so that you can see it a little bit better. And there we go, our little bottom part here. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a big old thumbs up. You go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up, please. And as you can see, this looks really great. You can put a little music box next to it if you want. Push that as well when you have it on, or maybe as your visitors come inside, you can push it and have some little creepy little music or just some little creepy sounds play. I think that would add more to it. It would look really lovely. If you want to add some little decorations on the top, some little garland or something, that would look cute too. But I think it looks great just as it is. What do you think? Leave a nice comment down below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And thank you to all my friends who have subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you very much. You are inspiring me. And look what I have created. I don't think anybody else has this, so I'm pretty sure this is an original idea by me. Okay, so there we go. And share on your social medias. I make videos every Tuesday and Friday. From here on, it's probably going to be all just crafts on through the Christmas holiday. So hit that little notification bell so you'll be notified of my videos. And as always, enjoy.